How's it going, guys? We're here to check out what's new in Rust. So today we have a force wipe, but it is quite a tiny update, or as the developers called it, the Smol update. Memes, gotta love that. But anyways, the Smol update has added a few cool little quality of life things, but mostly it's been them trying to fix stuff, which is what all of you have been begging for, so you better be happy. So, first off, let's cover some of the other things. Bow, the hunting bow has a new model. Let's actually, you know what, these are skinned already. I'll spawn in a default one for us really quickly, as well as boom, boom, and boom. Alright, so here's what it looks like by default. It's kind of like a cobbled together, handcrafted. It's more like a recurve bow. But, you know, you need some space to actually be able to skin it, and, you know, today we've got these two really awesome looking skins that made it in, so I think it was well worth it. The bow itself still functions exactly the same, nothing has changed, its stats haven't changed. I feel like the way it sits in its new view model makes it a little bit easier to fire, but it is pretty much the same exact thing. Now, the arrows have seen some changes. High velocity now has less drag and also requires metal fragments to craft, which we'll show here in a minute after I get totally owned by the scientist that I've missed like 900 times. As you can tell, I'm not a bow god. Hi, guy. Yeah, you wish you could kill me, but you can't. Anyways, while he's shooting at us, let's go ahead and switch to bow and arrow, which is something a lot of people don't use. And the bow and arrow actually, as you'll see, I almost just kind of hit the side of his head, like, and it actually went through. And that's because they now have a bigger like hit radius, as well as when you craft them, they give you 3 instead of 2 arrows. So let's go and take a look at arrows. And we've got the bow and arrow here. It's the same price, but you now get 3 per craft. And HV arrow has been changed to cost 5 metal fragments, which makes more sense. It also has less drag. I'm not sure if that really makes them all that much better, but we'll just have to see. That's going to be up to the bow gods to test it out and give their full opinion on what that is. Now, there are some map changes. You'll notice the map looks quite a bit different now. The icons have changed for the stores. Now, you can actually get both stores. It's a little tricky, but you can. If you just kind of drag, like right here, there's the resource exchange and there's the components. And if you come here, tools and stuff, and output outfitters. So it's kind of nice. You can actually clip over both the stores a little bit easier. Now, the grid coordinates are actually larger, but one of the things that Gary noted, and yes, Gary is actually working on Rust helping with this, and the grid and the map itself should be quite a bit less laggy now, and it's not going to be as performance hogging. Unfortunately, things like drawing on the map will never come back, is what he has said. But he also said he did some other changes, but Hulk undid them, so I'm not sure what that means, if that was just like a snarky comment, or if there still might be some changes to come. But yeah, it's definitely looking great. But one of the big things now is you can see the actual oil rigs, you can see if the crate is there. Also, the Chinook was dropping off crates, but that wasn't showing on the map. That should be fixed now. Large oil rig, of course, shows up as well. And there's so much more of the ocean. You should be able to see the cargo ship properly, etc., etc., and any other water monuments that may come in the future. Speaking of monuments, the excavator did not make it this month. We should probably see it June. It needs some extra tweaking, and they want to make sure that they did it just right. So we're going to have to wait for it then. As well as the flamethrower, the military-grade flamethrower has been put on hold, and the new silencers and attachments, I believe, are waiting. If you guys haven't noticed, they've been doing a lot of optimizations, and a lot of that had to do with the weapon attachments and how their view models worked and stuff like that. They actually are working on redoing that, so I'm assuming maybe that was held off for that, but that's just me guessing. So we'll just have to see how that goes there. But there are a few other things I'd like to cover, but they're not really something I can show all that much. Let's first go ahead and show the last thing, and it's going to be that quick looting has been updated. You can see it is significantly faster than it used to be to transfer. This is a nice optimization, but also a nice quality of life situation thing, and I'm quite happy to see that change come in. When it came to tracers, with the reintroduction of them and the first-person tracers, the size of them was like a little bit too big, especially when using it 8 or 16 times. They've now reduced it and taken into account the field of view, so it'll change with that. The M39 also now applies its recoil over time instead of instantly, so that basically means that it now functions more or less like the SAR. So it's a little kind of hard to actually see it, but we'll kind of go ahead and load it up here, and you'll see. It's a little bit different. You have to be really familiar with the gun, and unfortunately, you know, since it isn't a craftable one, some people might not be. But yeah, it's basically going to fire more like the SAR, behave more like it, and hopefully make it more desirable to use. The LR has also seen a change. They realized that the durability was too low. It now has durability equal to the AK to make it much more viable. In addition to other changes with weapons, the 40mm smoke grenades could be exploited to be used as like ladders or boosters. That has been fixed. The oil rigs with the broken puzzles, that has been fixed as well. It should no longer be a problem. If they break, it will no longer require an admin to come in and fix it. It should now no longer be an issue. We've also seen a ton of optimizations with skins. There's been some changes like skin unloading. It's a new system that unloads skins as items are referencing and are removed from the world. So for example, if a player moves out of networking distance, this is controlled by a new convert called Item Skin Unload, and it is enabled by default for clients that have less than 10 gigs of RAM. It does have a downside though, because skins have to be loaded each time you do come back to them. So it kind of unloads, reloads skins. This will help people with low performance with skin issues. But if you have more than 10 gigs of RAM, they recommend not changing to this thing, which it would be off by default for you. Another thing is skin memory optimizations. Skins have a pretty big footprint, and Andre went ahead and rewrote the loading system to make it to where it only loads the assets that are currently needed. This saves a ton on the memory side of the game and should help some people with lag spikes, especially when loading in large areas that have lots of bases and lots of skins being used. That's a really nice thing. Another big thing everyone has been asking for is skin missing icons. And as you can see, we have that present right here. You know, I have it in my hand, but the icon is gone. This is a big thing that puzzles people. And it's pretty much due to a very complicated, archaic way of things working. This isn't implemented yet, but Andre is working on getting it done, and he thinks he should have it basically on staging maybe tomorrow or so. He said they will release the permanent solution for everyone with a small update as soon as they're sure it works properly. And that's just a really nice thing, because, you know, if you buy something, you want it to work perfectly. Also, they have fixed all the skins up until the new ones today. So the new skins today aren't fixed, but anything previously should all have their icons fixed. They went in and manually did that for everyone to catch it up. So that pretty much kind of does it with that stuff. Before we jump into looking at the little horseback riding thing that got sent to me by Helk, we're going to go ahead and check out the new lighting effects. So we will be right back. Alright, here we are at Bandit Camp, one of the two places who have now seen updated lighting, and you can already see the difference, but one of the main things is the fog. The fog was super laggy, it was causing a lot of problems, it just really wasn't optimized, and they went ahead and redid the fog system. It should be less laggy for people, and its distance in which it renders should be a lot more appropriate as well. And you can see there's just a huge difference. I mean, look at these lights. I love the glow to everything. It's just amazingly beautiful. It just looks so great. And one of the things that some people were exploiting was the... Oh, that's not where it is. We'll get back to that. But yeah, the lighting is just amazing, especially over here. It just looks so nice. I think they've done a great job. And the fact is, you know, updating the lighting, updating the fog, it's not pointless. It does help with performance, which is something that everybody is begging for. Now, one thing that people were doing was messing with people with the recyclers. So they've now put a guard at the top of the ladder and down here at the bottom of the ladder to prevent people from screwing with people, hopefully using the recycler. So that was kind of exploitable. They now have the proper guards here, and that should be a nice little addition to quality life change right there. On this windmill, oh man, look at the sparks. It makes Rust come more alive, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I know a lot of people really think it's useless, but you know, if you think it's useless, remember this helped your performance. So not only does it look nice, but it also hopefully did a little bit of something for you. Alright guys, looks like I can't seem to find the actual area here on my map. It could be the map size or so forth, but the large cave sewer system was overhauled. It's one of the large caves you can build in. Here's a couple pictures of it. You guys are going to have to find it and explore it yourself just to see how awesome it looks. But there is one crucial thing I almost forgot to go ahead and show you guys, and it is high external walls. They have been reduced to 60 seconds. That is nothing. It's pretty awesome. This will be great for building a ton of walls for your compound, but it also kind of reduces people wanting to use the exploit of using the high externals and a bench to craft up a bunch of walls to store more and more wood on them. So that's one of those kind of things there. So hey, there might be less pinatas, but you know, it is kind of an exploit. But that's going to do it, guys. I'm going to leave you with some footage of horse being rode in Rust. And this is a little bit older, but it is some of the progress that Hulk has been working on. So yeah, you guys will just have to check this out. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time. I hope you have a great wipe and a good weekend.